So this is the V-Baby, and I'm gonna try. I don't know if this is the final solution, but we have the Bringsmart WormGear, which I have linked to in the description, and I can show you that so you know what I'm talking about. It's this one. It also comes with a stepper, probably a stepper that's way too big for our need, and I asked the supplier if they can provide us with a smaller stepper or just the gear. It would be nice to be able to order just this gear. But anyway, let's get started modeling. That's why I'm here. And of course we need a caliper. And even though we are going to get the drawings, or see if we can get the drawings, what you see on the screen are some drawings, and they are not always correct. So but I need, that's actually our first step, is to get this drawing. So I didn't even know it was here, so let's just see if we can save it. So bring draw something, and let's just bring it in and see if we can use this. I think we can use it. That's good. So we can bring that into Fusion just right away, and I want to do that in a separate design. So just start a new design. You can see my screen, right? Yeah. And we can bring in the drawing we just saved, as we do with a like a canvas. And I want to draw this. Doesn't really matter. We can draw it. Let's do it on the right plane. I'm gonna select the image which I just placed in the my download section. Bring draw, and just gonna OK that for now, and I'm gonna view it. Because now we can calibrate this drawing. So as you see, we already have some dimensions going on. So I'm gonna right click and go calibrate. And to calibrate, it's best to use of course somewhere where it's easy to pick points, and also you want to use one of the longer dimensions, like the 58 or the 40s or something. And yeah, maybe we should just try to use the 40 here and just pick the line. You want to try to be as precise as you can, and of course then you need to go straight over to the other side, which is not always that easy. And we want to do 40 and just zoom out. Double click your middle button and you zoom out, and then we should have the right dimensions, and we can toggle on our origin, so we can move this guy somewhere. And I'm gonna do right click and edit, and I want to like have it somewhere I want to start with the origin somewhere smart, or yeah, maybe down here. It's about okay, because then I can also bring it down a little bit in transparency. opacity, we don't need to be too strong, and we want to display through, and okay. So then start a sketch on the same plane, of course. So I'm working on the right plane, and I'm gonna do R for rectangle, and just click the origin and just enter our dimensions, which is 58 by 40, which fits nice to our canvas. That means we've done something right. That's good. And I want to do the gearbox first, and then we can move on. I think actually I have a stepper already, so I don't have to bother with that. So all this down here is a stepper, and since I have that model already, I'm not gonna do it. And you can ask why I started with this side of the gearbox. I just picked one. It doesn't really matter. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment. I am watching the chat, so if you go to the chat, you can ask me questions. Try to answer as best as possible. If you are watching live, that is. Sorry about the bad hair day, by the way. Yeah. Okay, so let's turn off the origin, because that's kind of annoying to watch, and you might want something more going on into this sketch. We probably should do a C for circle and try to add this guy. We also want to watch our WormGear to see what's going on in 3D, because it's not also always easy to see that in 2D as we are in sketch mode. And we want to add this guy, 20, and of course that is going to be in the center of the rectangle, and we can constrain that just with a line, which is kind of nice to use, which we just use L for line and just hover over the top line here. I can turn off the background, and you can see we get this triangle, and then we know that we are in the middle. And I'm just gonna bring that straight down and end it, and just constrain it with point to center point, and I'm gonna make that a construction line by selecting it and hitting X on the keyboard. And of course we need to constrain this with does this say 18.8? Is it 18.8? Yeah, seems like it. And we can also do another C for circle, and this guy is probably 8. Yeah, it's 8. I know it's 8. And we also have a D here. So let's do another line. Just ballpark it. It's not so important for the purpose of this model. Let's just do 3. Profile. Yeah, something like this. Okay, I think we're just gonna start with that and just extrude this guy. So let's extrude it backwards. That means negative from the plane we are working in. And we can have a look on the canvas to see that we are going 26.8 in that direction. So negative 26.8. And I didn't get the center here. I need that as well. So I'm gonna turn on my sketch again. And I'm gonna edit my extrusion and just also pick those profiles. And I'm gonna turn off the canvas. I'm gonna bring in the image we are working from on a separate viewing window. Sometimes it's kind of annoying to have that in the background when you are working. Okay, and if we do look at the WormGear, we can try to extrude some of this stuff that's going out on the top face, or this face. And then we have to look at this side. We can see all the dimensions here. So we are going 4.5 millimeter out with this guy. So let's do that. We can probably do the center as well, as we are going to change that later. So just bring everything out 4.5. Then it should start to look like our drawing. And in our drawing, in our sketch, we don't have the other I didn't draw in the other stuff here, so I want to do that now, just finish that face. And to do that, I want to start a new sketch onto this guy. Sometimes it's better just to have more sketches rather than everything in one sketch. Can be a little bit of a hassle later. So I'm gonna project my face, so I'm gonna hit P on the keyboard and I'm just gonna click the face I'm working on, and I'm gonna go to look at, and we need our drawing. So looking here, we do know the dimensions. We can see the placing of these guys. So let's get those in. We can actually bring our canvas in, it's easier. And I'm gonna do R for rectangle. And just gonna pick this point and go down here. And we can add dimensions to this side, 40, and this is going to be 28. And we need to restrict that. We need to go from this corner to the center of this and straight out, and 11. And we are still not constrained because some of my lines are purple. So then again, I want to just use a line to constrain that. I'm gonna hover over here, find the middle, and just end that command and do another midpoint constraint between this guy and this guy. Then I can just make this one construction line. So we can also make actually this rectangle a construction line as well, and we can do C for circle and draw some circles here. They look like to be 8. I don't know if we have that in our drawing. Doesn't look too, I can't see them anyway, so I'm just gonna measure with my caliper also, just to be sure. the size of these guys. So they are like, yeah, 7 point, yeah, about 8. Should be right. They also look like to be 3mm holes in the inner. So 8 is fine here. And I'm just gonna do 3 more circles. And I'm just gonna draw out some circles, and I'm gonna do equal. So I'm gonna do this equal to that one, and that one equal to this one, and this one equal to that one. So everybody is 8. And we probably, if we look at the right side of the drawing, looks like more of these extrusions are all 2mm out, so we can try to get everything that's 2mm out, we can try to get into this drawing, this sketch we are working on. So another circle, and I'm gonna pick the center point here, and another 8. Just another circle, and I'm just gonna put 8 again. And doesn't look like there are any dimensions on those guys. We are just gonna ballpark them. Looks like 15 is a nice fit here, and probably also 6 here. Look to be right. And I want to use symmetric constraints now, so I'm gonna do a center line. We actually have a center line. Let me turn off the background. So we can use this as a center line and do symmetry on this guy and that guy, and then this center line. Then both these circles are symmetric. And again, there are some more stuff going on with this thing, as we can see also in our drawing. So let's try to get that. We can do probably a slot. Let's just do a slot. Let's see. Probably should started with a slot in the beginning, but anyway. So 8mm slot, and looks like that's going to be 6 from center to center, and we need some angular dimensions here, so it looks to be 35 in angle. Yeah, looks to be good. So I'm gonna finish that sketch, turn off the drawing and hit E for extrude. I'm gonna bring all these profiles out 2mm. So now we are starting to look like our WormGear. If you can see this. And we also have some screw holes. So what you see here is our screw holes, and yeah, that's more for like yeah, of course we want those in as well. So let's just hit the face again and another sketch, and hit P for project, and let's do body because I just want the outer perimeter. And then another rectangle. I'm gonna do a line first and hit X, so I get the construction line from corner to corner. And then I'm gonna hit R for rectangle, and I'm gonna pick a center rectangle and pick the midpoint of the last line and just draw that, just drag it out. And I'm gonna do D for dimension. So we need to figure out what's the size of this guy. Might not even work. Let's see. 2.5. Yeah, it could work. Looks like it's 2.5 from each corner. Yeah, looks to be okay. And then we can actually use the hole command for this. So I'm just gonna finish this sketch, and I'm gonna pick H for the hole command, and I'm gonna pick the corners of our last rectangle. And we don't know how far in they are going. Yeah, we probably should actually hole out the metal casing. We should make it hollow before we do this, guys. This is actually a lid we are working on, so it's supposed to be split, but we are not going to go very detailed. Actually, also when I look now at the back side, it's the same, which is nice. So we don't have to model the back side, we can just mirror this, what we are doing on the front here. But yeah, before we make these holes, I want to step back in time before the sketch, and let's just do a shell. Let's just click the edge of the body, not the face or anything, but the edge, so everything lights up. And we are, I don't know, the thickness, but let's just guess it 1 millimeter thick, this thing, and just hit enter. I'm gonna show you what happened. So let's pick section analysis and just go inside now and see. So you can see that it's hollow, and we can turn on and off this by need. We can also now split this the whole thing to get the lid, and so we probably could do that right now. Actually, when thinking about it, I want to mirror our the stuff here to the other side before I do anything else. So I can also see that there are some holes in these guys on the screen, so we probably should have those going before we do anything else. I'm not sure if I can use the hole command for that. Let me try and just pick this edge here. Yeah, we can use that. And let me just measure that one. And these holes are actually, there are threads here, so it looks to be 4 millimeter threads, which means we are going to use I'm gonna move this guy so you can see it. We are going to go simple hole. I'm going to use tap type. No thread offset. Probably going to have a drill point, and we want M4. I think it's M4. That's not so important. We are not going to. I'm already too detailed here. And I don't know how far in they are. See if I can measure that. Yeah, so they're about 10 or something. So let's just go 10, yeah, 8. I guess 8 is fine. And I can only, since I don't have a sketch, I can only do one at a time, but I'm gonna try to use pattern now after this. So, and I want this modeled, so I'm gonna checkbox the modeled, so you can actually see the threads. If we now go into analysis, we can see the threads here. So, yeah. So this is not correct. We should actually move our thread before the shelling. So let's move that in the timeline. And the shell did fail. So I'm already in deep water here now. And I probably should do the shelling a little bit earlier in the timeline. So let's try to do the shell here. Let's do 1mm shelling. You can see now it looks like this. And then we are going to extrude this guy. And then these guys. Yeah, this is probably much better. So now we have a nice thread here. 4mm M4 thread. And it worked out. Let's do a pattern. I'm gonna do sometimes I do faces, but if that doesn't work, features usually works. So choose that and hit direction, just pick this edge and drag it down. And we are going to have 2 in this direction. So we're going 40 down and we are going 28 out. Is that yeah, that's correct. And again 2 in this direction. And there you go. We have our threads. That's nice. So the only thing missing now is the screws for the lid. I'm just wondering if we are going to slice. We probably should slice this, or I probably should mirror this, what I've been doing before I slice anything. So let's try to do that. Let's try to mirror everything we have done on this face to the other side, this side. And first of all, we need a mid-plane. So construct mid-plane, hit this face and that face. So then we have a mid-plane. And I want to figure out what features I want to mirror. So I want to mirror this feature in the timeline. If you do see my timeline, and not the sketch, just the extrusion, this extrusion and the hole and the pattern. I'm not sure that's gonna work, but let's try. So I already selected them. I'm going to go create and mirror and select mirror plane and OK. Patterns don't always mirror, but this one did. So everything got mirrored. Wow, this is going too good. Something happened here though. I'm not sure what that is going on. So why is this here? This is very strange. Huh. I think that might be an illusion, actually. Let's just delete this and do the mirror command one more time. Mirror, and go features. We want this one, this one, this one, and the pattern. And select our mirror plane. Very strange. Well, I'm just gonna leave that for now. Not sure. This is very, very weird. It's not. I don't like that being there. But anyway, let's move on. Let's make the holes we talked about for the lid. Probably should make the lid first. This thing down here is really bothering me. I'm trying to ignore it, but I'm not sure if I can. So yeah, well, what's going on with this guy? Okay, I need to fix my mirror. I'm gonna delete the mirror again. Let's try to mirror in more than one. So let's mirror first this, no, not that one. This guy and these guys. So that worked out, no problem. And do one more mirror. Let's do our hole and the pattern. Let's try just the hole first. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. Let's just edit this guy and also pick the pattern. Yeah, that did not work. So I'm gonna control click. MP, hi, welcome to the stream. This is just, yeah. So when I did do this mirror of the pattern, this guy showed up, which is it's a bug of some sort. So I'm gonna just get rid of that one, and I'm gonna make these holes over here as well. So let's do the hole command again and just pick this guy and drag the center to its snap. And we already have M4 going. So this is what we want, and just another pattern for this guy and the direction, and go down. We are going to go 40 down, and we are going to go 28 out. We are going with 2, so we need 28, and of course the other way is also 2, like this. So then we are good. Yeah, I'm working on, if you just arrived MP, I'm working on reverse engineering the Bringsmart WormGear so I can use that in our V-Baby design for further development. If we can use it, I don't know. I need to save this. I haven't saved it. So we're going, I guess it's under components and buy, and we're going to go Bringsmart Worm Drive, something like that. I'm also going to change the material from ABS. We want metal, probably aluminum, not so very important, but just to have the weight and so on in our design. And of course, I think we now are going to slice the lid. And the lid, I must measure the lid. So it's probably should take it off, but yeah, it's 2 millimeter, the lid. Which means that also I think our shelling should be 2 millimeter, not 1. Let's do that, redo that. So I'll just change that, and let's see inside now. So it looks like this, right? And to slice it, we want to go to modify and combine. No, you want to go split, of course, split body. And I'm just gonna pick the edge of this guy and splitting tool, and just try to pick the inner face here and just hit OK. So now we have body 1, which is the lid, and body 2, which is the case. And I can give the lid another color, or should we? Don't be sorry for arriving late. Lego brick, yeah, we are doing Legos. No, just to catch up with you, MP. I'm reverse engineering this gear, which I'm gonna try to use in the V-Baby 3D printer, because I need this as a dummy inside the 3D printer to design the belted C drive for everything going on there. If we want to use this gear, I need this model, or else I can't design the idlers and everything in the belt path and so on. So that's why. And of course we need a hole for the axle, which we don't currently have. So let's make another, maybe we should do components, because we already split the body. So let's make this case a component. So create component, I'm gonna ground it. You want to ground one of the components, so, and also the lid, create component. So now these are 2 parts, which is nice. Then we can move them around. And I'm going to go into my lid component, activate that one, and hit H for a hole, and find the center here. And now we only want a simple hole, no threads. And we want to make sure we only cut the lid. And the size of this should probably be a little bit bigger than 8, because of the axle is 8. So this is probably by like, it's not important, let's just do it 9, just to have something going on here. So this is nice. We might want to fillet something. Probably should fillet also the corners. I can see there are some fillets going on here, so let's also do that real quick. Then let's go back to the top assembly and go all the way back in the timeline to find our extrusion and hit F for fillet. I'm going to do these corners, I don't know, 1 millimeter maybe, something. It's not like a big fillet, but it's nice to have. Probably maybe 2, 1.5 maybe. It's easy. It's not easy to measure. You can try to measure it. Looks like to be 2. Let's try with 2. I think these are bigger than what's on the edge here. It's probably more like 1 or a half or something. Let's do it like this and see how that works out. Yeah, looks good. I'm just gonna delete this guy because we did not finish our screws for the lid. We need to do that. To me it looks like this fillet should be smaller. Let's do it 0.5 or like this. And then we can go into the lid and also make the holes for attaching the lid. So hit P for project and body. Just hit body. And yeah, that was nice because now we can actually use, no, this is probably 2mm, yeah. So it's not so important. Let's just go with that for now. Let's just do the whole command again and pick these guys, let them be probably M3. No, those are through holes, not threaded. So we are just going to go through the lid only. I don't like this. The holes are not placed correctly. So let me fix that. The gears. Hello, Chris. What's going on? Yeah, I might even draw the gears, but not today. I don't know the size of these screws for the lid, but it's not so important. Let's just go with 3. I think that's actually too big. They're probably 2.5 or something. Or like this, looks like 2 or 2.5s. Okay, so that's our lid. I think it's actually pretty much finished. So let's have a look at the drawing. I think looks great. Everything looks to be in sync. You can also have a look at the photo here. Of course, we have not attached the stepper, and the problem here is that the stepper, I also now see I see one more thing. If we go, there's one detail I didn't recognize before. We can see that this dimension, if you see my arrow now on the screen, just a minute, MP. We have 4.4 and not 4.5, and since I'm very detail oriented, I want this to be 4.4 and not 4.5, because if we do measure from this face to this face now, we have 4.5, and we can easily fix that by just clicking and press pull and do negative 0.1, and then we should be 4.4. Might make a difference since we are using this in another design. And yeah, so this is our case. Let's have a look in the render window to see how that actually looks. Yeah, I think it's okay. But the color is, I just wanted to see what the color looked like, but I guess that's okay. Some questions. Heia Norge, ja. Small screw to try? No, but I can always pick out. I can because I'm supposed to pick this apart anyway. So I could take those off. Let me grab a screwdriver and see if I can get them out. Okay, so here we go. That was easy. So those are really small. Oh, so small it almost ended up inside my keyboard. Maybe there are twos. No, they are 2.5s, yeah. And I can actually, since this went quicker than expected, I can show you how we can get those screws inside this assembly. And I'm gonna show you. So we go to Mac Master Car and go to screws and bolts, and it's gonna be probably this one, and we're going to choose metric and 2.5s, and I'm gonna figure out the length by measuring with the caliper again. What's 7.5? This was strange. Very strange. Let's just do 8. And just do steel. It's not really a big deal. It looks like to be a pan head. So I'll just pick this one. Go to the product detail page. And go down here, choose step and save. And I'm gonna go to my library for Mac Master Car and just do M2.5 times 8 pan, something like that. Then we can upload this to my library for hardware, and we're gonna make a new folder for that, M2.5, and upload, select what I just saved. Then we can have that in our lid. Oh, I just Mac Mastercard enlarged view. You just go to a browser, an internet browser. No, just macmastercard.com, macmaster.com, and then you have everything. You should have one account. I think it's best to get everything. But now we have those in our library, so I'm just gonna insert it. First of all, let's just join this lid, and we can just do assemble as built joint and hit the lid and the case and just OK, so it doesn't move around again. And we also want what I forgot totally about, we need the axle. We need this guy to be into this gear. That's kind of important. So I'm gonna measure. It's 8mm and it's 15 outside. So I think we're just gonna do that by making a new component and just say pulley axle. I'm just going to create a sketch. Doesn't matter where I draw it. I'm just going to hit C for circle, and it's going to be 8. And we need, because it has this flat spot, which is about 3.5. Yeah, something like that. And first of all, I want to extrude this guy. So let's just extrude it -20, something like that, and put back the sketch. And I'm gonna slice this part because I need to measure how long that part is, because it's not going all the way, as you can see. So that's going 13, -13, like that. And that's our axle. Probably should do a fillet here as well. Just 0.5 something like that. Yeah, something like this. And then we can join this guy also. To this guy. And it can be revolute. And I want to bring it inside. So it's going to be 5. Let me measure now. It's supposed to be 15 on the outer side. Yeah, so now we have it. Now it's correct. So this is what we want. And we of course also, Chris, sorry. Oh yeah, I know Drøbak for sure. My mother is there all the time. So yeah, and now let's make another assembly. What's going on here? Something weird happened again. Aha. You see that objects to cut? We only want to cut the axle. like this, and we are back. So let's get out of this guy and make a new file, and then we are going to make and save it. I'm gonna do Bringsmart WormAssembly. So we are going to bring in what we just made. And we are going to go to components and to buy. This is stuff we buy. I'm gonna insert this. Okay, I'm just gonna ground it so it doesn't move around, and then we need to find NEMA 17, because I know I have that in here somewhere. So I'm just gonna insert that one. Just gonna move it a little bit and do OK. And then we need to attach this guy to this guy. Oh, yeah. So I actually see that we need one more thing in the gear, and that's the plate it's sitting on. There's some sort of adapter, so let's make this adapter as well. It's not gonna take too much time. So I'm just gonna right click on my worm drive and open it, and we are going to make one more component. NEMA adapter, we can call it. And I don't know if we have that in the canvas. Yeah, we have some dimensions from the adapter. It's supposed to be 8mm thick. So let's just do that and sketch, and just do it here. Rectangle, supposed to be 42 by 42, I think. Yeah. Which is the size of a NEMA 17. It probably should have a hole in it. Oh, sorry for that one. H for hole. I'm just gonna pick the find the center, and this hole is going to be 23 or 22, 23 something. Like that. And of course we also want some screw holes to attach the NEMA. If we have a look here, we can see that the NEMA is attached to this adapter with screws inside, which is a nice exercise. And I'm gonna project again the body. And we are going to do R for rectangle again, and center rectangle. We can hit X for construction lines. Just drag it out, and if I remember correctly, I don't actually remember, 30, I think they are 32. Or are they 31? Let's measure, because these holes have the correct distance. So let's measure from this guy to that guy, and it's, yes, 31 from center to center. So let's get that right. Just change this to 31, and the other should follow. So I'm going to finish that sketch and use the hole command again, and we are going to go with counter bore. Just going to pick the corners Let's do the inner first. The inner is going to be, I don't know, yeah, it's going to be, actually we have tapped. They should be, no, they are not tapped. They go straight through. So it's simple, and they are 3mm. Probably more like 3.5, but anyway. And we need the screw to be countersunk, and should be, I don't know how much, but since this is 8, let's go 3mm down, then we have 5 for the rest. Something like this. It's not so important again. I don't know the size of the counter bore, but I can measure. So just clears the head, so it looks like it's 6. Yeah. So it's supposed to look like something like this. And then we can bring that in. So let's join this guy. Let's see, it's gonna be joined something. Yeah. Let's pick the edge here and the edge there. It's gonna be rigid. Flip it over here and make sure it's 0.5, so it's flush like this. Okay, so I can see now that this hole that I made and the adapter actually comes out a little bit on the back side. So I need to move that a little bit further, probably 2.5, something like this. I can measure again. So I measure this height. Yeah, it's 2. So, and the reason I moved it 2.5 is because of the fillet. So now it's 2, we have 2, which is good. And I need to redo this. This cannot go all the way through. And it probably should be on the other side actually. So I need to go back in time and redo my my hole. We need to pick another face. We need to pick this face. Attach it to the center, and we want it flat end section, and we are only going to go, let's do 4. Actually we can redo this also to be a counter bore, and we are going to use the inner. It's going to be 8 and the outer is going to be 23. I'm sorry for messing around with this, but it's kind of important. And the center is going to go all the way through like this. So this is more what we want for the NEMA to be attached. And back here and flip it in. Yeah, that's not what I wanted again. Sorry, I'm messing around here. I'm doing it all wrong. We want this one to be on this. No, we don't. Actually, this is right. It's only my joint which is wrong. So let's rejoin this guy. So I want this face to be here. 2.5 outing. So now we are correct. Now it's looking just like this one. So let's close it, and when I close it and go back to the assembly, we can see we have this this message that we are out of date. So let's just refresh this guy, and then we can join this circle to this circle and flip it like that. Now we have our worm drive, which is awesome. I hope you can see this, and it should look similar to what you see on the screen. It should be an exact copy, except the inner components, of course, are not there. Let me just give the axle another color. Let's actually do that inside the part itself. So we want to go to metal, of course, and give it some steel because it's currently aluminum. Steel. Maybe satin? Yeah, something like that. Just save it again and just update. Any questions? Chris? Yeah, go have some sleep for sure. Thanks for following. So this is it, guys. We have the Bringsmart WormGear as a 3D model. That's what my goal was to with this live feed. I hope it turns out okay. And yeah. So, and again, if you have any questions, anything more you want to see in terms of 3D modeling or any 3D printing, prototyping, whatever, just let me know and I make that content. So again, thanks for watching, and let's pick it up later.